Olga Liska.
Thank you very much, Remco, for the kind introduction. So I'm the one English speaker today. I'll try to be slow so that you get everything. So it's a big pleasure to be standing here before you. As Remco said, I'm working for a company. I'm running a part of the company, building it like a startup, and we have dedicated our mission to building artificial intelligence together with electronics, smart sensors, and software. As Remco said, we have started a pilot project here at the St. Martin's Clinic with our WISH project, the Workflow Improvement System for Hospitals, as we call it. And I would like to take you now on a swift journey to tell you what we're all about. As a company, we've been asked just to give a little disclosure that, in fact, I'm standing here before you to just share my mission and nothing else. So let me start using a little analogy to tell you how we're actually looking at workflows. Workflows in hospitals, you can take workflows in any process in your life. It's all workflows when you're doing things after each other. And I would like to use, fitting to this room, an orchestra as an analogy. Because in an orchestra, you have a big composition of people, you have the musicians, you have individual musicians playing their instruments, playing their melody, their solo, for instance, but they're also part of an instrument group, so the violinists and the cello players, and all together they have to play a melody, the composition, and that has to come across in a perfect balance. So each of those players have practiced their part perfectly, individually, and yet they have a conductor that helps them to achieve the perfect balance overall. So the perfect harmony to the melody is helped by someone who actually gives them instructions to be just in the right moment where they need to be. So in a way, we see that timing is very key to a lot of the things that we're doing. And I would like to carry this analogy further to looking at hospitals in the same way. So I've taken a picture that puts some of the different departments that you have in a hospital together. So there's many different kinds of, and each of them have many different workflows running. And many of those workflows are connected to the critical information that you need from each other, from the other departments. And that's exactly where the challenge comes for people working in a hospital, for the staff, because that information from department to department has to be transferred somehow, and so staff is getting information from different systems where it's put in, is phoning each other, is talking to each other, getting estimations, everything to make their workflow work in the overall. Now, as I said, the challenge is that it's a lot of effort, but yet, although all the effort is done, the information you receive might not actually be real time. It's put into the systems as part of the workflow, but most of the time, and this is how it should be, the patient is in the forefront. So the attention needs to go to the patient, not filling in any systems just to have the information ready somewhere else. So often the information that you get is not exactly real time, is only an estimate because no one really knows if there have been changes in the plan. So that challenge is what we want to address and make it easier for people to work. So we have dedicated our mission, in fact, to making hospital workflows run smoother. So we have dedicated ourselves to delivering reliable, real-time information automatically to hospitals. So I was working at TU Delft before, like Remco mentioned, and research there has shown that from out the many departments in a hospital, you have the operating room as a kind of a heart, center of the hospital. And if it would be possible to know what is happening in real time in the operating room, and if it would be possible to bring that information outside to people needing that information in real time, then a lot of the workflows would be much easier to coordinate. So this is where we came in as a technology company. And this is where we put our focus on. So we said we will collect data from within the operating room, process it, and then help all the people around to have the information they need at hand at any moment they need in real time. So we are collecting data in a smart way and then bringing it to the people outside. And this is basically how we do it. So we have three parts to the system. On one hand, the smart sensors. We are professionals in developing electronics. We have the cloud system, and we have the user interface, the one that talks to you. The smart sensors, we have made one thing very high priority. It should never disturb any process that you in the OR are involved in. It has to be there invisibly, non-invasively, so that everything runs the way it's used, and yet it's able to collect data. So one of our core is a smart instrument tafel, so an overset tafel. And without actually tagging instruments, we can detect what's happening on the table. We know what's being picked up and placed back. And that information goes into the system. We also detect what devices are doing, what electrical devices, based on the current they're using. And together that information flows into the cloud system. And the cloud system is where the artificial intelligence, what Remco mentioned, that we have made that as a core of our system. This is where the algorithms are processing the information. And here, the direction we have chosen is, rather than pre-feeding the system with processes so that it can start adapting or adjusting those processes, we have actually decided to come from the direction of having the system learn itself. So it basically does it like a human. It observes, it collects data, it sees what's happening, what repeats, and so on. And this is how it learns to then be able to predict what is happening, where you are. Was there something off schedule? Was there a delay or an unexpected complication? So this is how our system goes about it, like a human would do. And then the third part, very importantly, also is the user interface. So we have designed an app and screen versions, and we have information for every different department that needs information from the operating rooms, and we're speaking of information of end times of surgeries, the real end times, because often complications delay processing it, and then it's really hard to say when are we ending really. And this is what our system calculates and then would give you on the screen a real-time update of how the process is actually going, so that you working in a clinic, for instance, to everyone here working in the hospitals, knows how to arrange their workflows according to the information that's coming out real-time from the operating room. And to go a step further and give every individual real guidance throughout the day, we have designed an app. And that's where you have your calendar, you would log in with your credentials, that's the space that you can see, and it updates your calendar with the latest, updates and the latest situation. And it send you push notifications that you know if there is a delay. So you can actually use your time much better and decide to do something else or spend more time with the patient rather than racing somewhere to realize only then that, that there is a delay happening. So this is how we intend to guide you through the day, through the process, so that all the workflows can play together in very good harmony. We have come with all our technology together to be able to demonstrate you, to show you how it's working. So be brave. I have also Dutch speakers on the team, so we are international, but we also speak Dutch. So come along, have a look of how we're doing it, how the table is working, how it responds, and we're very curious to hear what challenges you have in your daily workflows, in your daily practices, because we want to learn from you where we can help you better. So we are in the St. Martin's Clinic, we're walking around there, and we're very keen to meet meet you, to hear where everything that we're doing could actually help you. So please see us just outside these doors, all the teams waiting for you, and just have a look of how we're doing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Olga. Thank you.